Hi investors, today we deep dive in my portfolio and then we are gonna review my investing strategy, and it's gonna be all part of me being transparent to you, so let's do it right now. So first of all, let me bring you up to speed on my strategy. This is the S&P 500 information technology. It's a video that I made a few days ago, but basically in that video I proved that the S&P 500 technology actually overperforms the overall market, where the overall market is the S&P 500. Then if we look at what has overperformed, we see that actually tech stocks, basically that's what we're looking at, tech stocks have normally overperformed the market. Now I don't know if you can see it, I'm gonna zoom in for you. So basically 20% a year if you were to invest in the S&P 500, basically that was 10 years ago. We are looking over 10 years. If you were looking on the short term, we see that technology stocks were actually even higher in terms of gain, and the S&P 500 is trailing at 12% a year. Now if you look at, this is the 10 years, 5 years, it looks even prettier for tech stocks. Look at that 29%, and look at the gap between the two. So the white one are the tech stocks and the S&P 500 is the blue one, trailing tech stocks. So now that you know more about my strategy, we can actually have a look at my portfolio. And first of all, let's have a look at the biggest holding that I have, and the biggest holding is Tesla with a whopping, actually it is a whopping 48%. That's an awful lot. I know that's an awful lot. It's definitely a massive position in my portfolio, but I'm not the only one who's got this kind of disproportion between one stock and the other. I've actually prepared a bit of a surprise for you. I wanted to show you the Warren Buffett portfolio. This is what we have on the screen right now. So this is basically today's price, and these are his holdings that he filed a couple of months ago on his last earnings report. And so you see that Apple has got an allocation of 40%. Yes, 40% of his portfolio. Then if you also add the second, and by the way, these are all the first stocks in terms of allocation, the biggest, the most prominent. Altogether, this equals to 85% of his portfolio, so the vast majority. And we look that Apple and Verizon are tech stocks, and together, if you sum them together, they are 43% of his portfolio. That be the reason why he has been performing so well against the market over the years. Again, Apple, he bought it quite a few years ago, but now let's have a look at the Tesla chart based on obviously what I want to do on my position. Now this is what we are looking at in terms of technical analysis. We are inside the wedge, and as you can see, we actually picked out and we are about to go down. I'm not entirely sure if we are gonna go back down, and so this wedge was actually drawn. Obviously I just eyeballed it. I just used this candle over here and this candle over here, and so overall that's where it that's where it went basically. But if we instead just use a bit common sense, it looks like we are about to go down. We are about to have another wave type of thing, and then potentially we are gonna go up from there. That would be potentially based on what the earnings will be, and we know that during these earnings it will be incredibly important to see how many cars they sold, and I'm pretty sure that Tesla will have an incredible earnings, and I'm so sure that it's gonna go well from that point of view. But problem will be the cash. They have a lot of Bitcoin that, you know, they turn cash into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, as we know, has gone down. So overall, I'm not planning to buy any more Tesla overall, but what I'm thinking is that there might be a run up before the earnings. That's what normally happens for Tesla. For example, if you look at these earnings over here, which was on the 27th of April, that was basically, first of all, we had a run up. So first of all, we had this run up, and that was more or less bang in the middle between one earnings and another, and so that would be actually just mirroring what's happening here. And then it went down and then back up again. So what I'm thinking now, because we are quite close to the earnings, so what I'm thinking is that we might maybe go a little bit down, chill a bit on this line, and then go back up, and then we would be basically very close to it. And normally after an earnings, always happens that after an earnings there is a sell-off for Tesla. So that's the kind of thinking behind it. So let's move on to the second biggest position in my portfolio, and this is gonna be very interesting. Many people do not know. By the way, if you want to know everything about my portfolio, it is available for you to check on my Discord channel. It is totally free, guys. What are you waiting for? Just get yourself on it. First link in the description below. The Discord is free. I am there. I post an update every week. I don't make this kind of videos every week because these videos don't perform. No one wants to actually watch them. But now let's move on to the second position, one, which is oil. Yes, a commodity. And as you can see, this is my other portfolio. I have two portfolios, and one is my investing, which is basically the one that is basically taxed normally. And then I have the ISA, and the ISA is the one that I just showed you, where Tesla is actually the biggest investment I have. But in this portfolio, biggest investment, and still smaller than Tesla obviously, is oil. Yes, a commodity basically. This investment is doing so well, like it's up 123%. Obviously I bought it last year when it was very much down and it was really struggling. Now it's very much up. And so in terms of oil, this is just to give, we're not spending too much time on oil, but just give you an overall flavor of what is happening. We are actually gaining so much. It's basically, I wouldn't say the all-time high, but it's really doing very well. And it's one of my top performers as well, because I bought it so much low. It was down here. No, it wasn't in October. It was around March, probably beginning of April, and it's now up so much. And commodities do not go bad. Like, we know the commodities are just something that will always do well, and I'm actually planning to become even more experts on commodities. So looking, for example, at lumber. Now lumber is something else that is now been going down. Like, it had reached the top. There was actually the highest level for lumber that has ever been achieved. Literally, even if you go back 100 years, that was the absolute top, and now it's coming down. But many other commodities have been doing the same, and so that's so interesting to learn. This is what I'm really passionate about. I want to learn about stock, commodities, crypto. So this is what this channel is about. I'm completely transparent, and I want you to follow me on my journey, and everything will be given to you as well. I'm not planning to buy any more oil for the moment. So now let's move on to the third biggest position in my portfolio, which is Palantir. Now, and Palantir is actually 14% of my portfolio. It's quite a lot. Obviously a very big position, because I'm a massive fan of Palantir, and I'm actually gonna show you on the chart. And today I actually bought. Yes guys, I know that it's not gonna be one of those episodes where I'm not gonna buy anything or do anything at all. Today is the day that I bought, because looking at the chart, it looks like we literally took a massive dump. This is like normal for Palantir. It went down a lot, and it's just not, I couldn't find any explanation about this, which is why I just thought, let's go and do it. There is a bit of FUD in the market, because ARK Invest sold a big amount of Palantir. They actually sold quite a lot of Palantir today. Overall for them, it's not a big deal, because they have a position that is massive, guys. But because they sold it in one big go, which I wouldn't have done it if it was them, but I guess they just let it run a bit too much. And the way they do it, I'm pretty sure that Palantir, there is a person behind the trades. It's not just done automatically. They just go and actually look at what the market trend is, and they also follow the momentum. So they saw the momentum was getting weaker, and they actually, yesterday they took a dump, and today market has taken another dump, which is obviously not ideal in the short term, but in the long run this is incredibly good. Like, if you look at the trend over time, this is actually a level that we touched so many times. So overall we've been going up and down, but I really think that it's time for me to load up both even more potentially. And if you love this video, you will love this video where I break down my tech strategy to overperform the S&P 500, the market basically. So click on it.